Wishing everybody a very happy afternoon and a very warm welcome to all of you joining us today for this engaging and insightful webinar on life skills. We are delighted to have with us today Dr. Neeta Bali, an educational professional with about 4 decades of experience as a teacher and administrator. She has headed some of the most prestigious schools in the country as principal and director, inspiring thousands of students, teachers, and colleagues over the years. Dr. Bali has authored several books for leading publishers and is a trained career counselor and teacher trainer, a recipient of numerous awards and recognitions. She has indeed carved a niche for herself in the educational community. Without further delay, let me hand over the session to Dr. Neeta Bali. Ma'am, virtual floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Meena. Good evening, everyone. It's so wonderful to see you on a Saturday evening. Good to connect with people from across the country. I can see that there are a lot of people from different parts of the country, right from Kolkata to Hyderabad, um, and even Dubai. Dr. Arun from Dubai. Wonderful to see you all. Um, Such a pleasure. What we are going to talk about today is something which is very close to every educator's heart. All of us understand with the NEP. Now, the emphasis is essentially on the hidden curriculum. Now, when I say hidden curriculum, what I'm actually talking about is not what you teach overtly, but what you want children to imbibe when you teach. I'm sure all of us as educators understand that teaching of the content is not so significant, but content is a means to an end. When we teach something in a classroom, when you teach content in a classroom, it is extremely significant to ensure that there are certain qualities, there are certain attitudes, and there are certain skills that children imbibe. Because at the end of the day, all of us know as teachers and parents, it is the skills that will help people to go through life successfully. Between those who succeed and those who probably do not succeed, of course, success is a very relative term. Again, what's success for me may not necessarily be success for you. But then, majority of us understand that those who are successful in life are not necessarily people who may have gotten excellent grades in school, but it's people who have cultivated a certain set of skills, what we probably call today, or what is commonly referred to as life skills. So these life skills are what really help people to survive. Now, what are life skills? Uh, Let us talk about what are life skills. So life skills, uh, you'll have to change the slides as we go. So next
Yeah,
one, please.
the
So
next one.
yes, please. So life skills are essentially uh, behavioral attitudes, behavioral changes, or behavioral developments, which are designed to address uh, 3 areas of everyday life. So, what are these 3 areas of everyday life? WHO defines life skills as adaptive behavior. So, what are life skills? So, WHO or World Health Organization says life skills are abilities for adaptive and positive behavior. Adaptive and positive behavior. Positive, yes. Adaptive, more important, because when you're put into a certain situation and you learn to adapt to that situation, that's what helps you to deal effectively with the demands and challenges of everyday life. We go to the next one, Nina. So I was talking about what are life skills. These are behavioral changes or a behavioral development approach which is designed to address uh, 3 areas of our life. We'll go to the next one, please. Now, what are these 3 areas of our life? Um, these are essentially KSA. What is KSA? K stands for knowledge, S stands for skills, and A stands for attitude. KSA. The KSA model, in fact, is very, very popular. Very, very popular. and often spoken about by experts and psychologists, by educators. So, if I talk about knowledge, what is knowledge? As educators, I'm sure all of you not know that knowledge essentially refers to the basics of what we learn, the theories, the information that we learn, the facts and figures that we learn, uh, science descriptions, descriptions again, language. That's knowledge. What are skills? Skills are the ability to set goals, the ability to manage our time well, our ability to use our rationale, our interpersonal skills, that is, our ability to get along with people, and communication skills, that is, the ability to articulate our ideas in such a manner that other people, the audience, are able to understand what we are saying. And what are attitudes? Attitudes are self confidence. How much do I believe in myself? Self motivation, integrity, optimism, my enthusiasm or vigor with which I do my work, my optimism, as I said, honesty and integrity with which I execute my duties, cooperation and commitment. We'll go to the next one, please. Apart from the KSA, in fact, the 3H model is very important. As educators, I'd like you to definitely keep in mind the 3H model. The 3H model is very popular. When I say 3H model, the head, heart, and hands. Now, what is head? What does head stand for? Anyone who'd want to hazard a guess about what does head stand for? Anyone? You can put your answers in the chat box, and we'd like to speak about it. Head stands for brain and thinking. Absolutely. Knowledge. Thank you, Nazia. Uh, intellectual quotient. Beautiful, Hetal. Thank you. Logic, thinking, cognitive thinking. Yes. Emotions will come a little later. Head will not have so much to do with emotion. Yes. Ability to think logically. Beautiful. Thinking. And so well said. Thinking positive. Somebody said thinking positive. Psychomotor. Well, not really right now. Cognitive. Understanding. Beautiful. So head stands for cognitive. You're right. Head stands for cognition. The ability to think. The ability to think logically, the ability to think critically, the ability to evaluate a situation, the ability to analyze and then draw conclusions. Let's talk about heart. I'm sure heart is very close to everybody's heart. So, what does heart stand for? Anybody? Beautiful emotions, empathy. You're doing my work, you're taking the workshop. Fantastic. Emotional well being, heart, compassion, empathy, lovely. Compassion, empathy, feelings, kindness. Yes. So, heart stands, definitely, heart stands for feelings, heart stands affection, beautiful. Life, yes. Without heart, no life, literally and figuratively. Literally, yes. The moment your heart stops beating, you're over. Your time on earth is over. Beautiful. Balances the brain. Yes, Harjot, I agree with you. Bonding, lovely. Connect. Love and affection, bonding. Yes, fantastic. Empathy. Oh, what's that one? Cleaning blood. Wow. Yes, literally, yes. That's what the heart does. Cleans blood, yes. Caring, loving, courtesy. So, heart essentially stands for the emotional side of our personality, our ability to relate with other people. Happiness, yes, beautiful. Social, emotional learning, emotional bonding, caring. All these are synonyms of empathy. So, heart stands for all these beautiful things that you said: strong emotional expression and bonding, interacting. See, we are already bonding, huh? We are already, hearts are connected here on this webinar. Looks like it. Lovely. Storehouse of emotions. Thank you, Harkirat. Beautiful. Love, interpersonal skills. Lovely. And hands. What do hands stand for? Hands. Hands stand for touching, feeling, literally. Yes. Creativity, experiential learning, Emotions, I'm not so sure. Yeah, you can express your touch. Yes. Touch is a beautiful way of expressing your feelings. Touch can have a very therapeutic effect. Psychomotor, fabulous. Psychomotor skills, experiential learning, lovely. Knowledge, the ability to apply your knowledge and to apply your skills. Meenakshi says beautifully, I think, can we go down, please? I want to read Meenakshi's statement that says beautifully, what does it say? Can we
think
move this down a little? The somebody just wrote something about the combination of head and heart.
I
Yes,
think
that's
I think I can I read it for you, ma'am?
yeah.
I
If you
think with combination of heart and head, one can definitely take decisions logically, yet be empathetic and stand for expressing.
beautiful. So I think you're doing my job. They're the ones who are taking the workshop. Lovely. So hands symbolize strength, fabulous creativity, connection, serving as tools for building, expressing, reaching out to others in meaningful ways. How lovely. Thank you, Archana Rathore. Thank you. Unity, 3H, lovely. Sharing and caring, teamwork, fabulous. What a beautiful interpretation of the 3H model. I thought it was I thought of it as very simplistic. No, but you're making it so exciting. Together, they promote holistic development. Beautiful. So Jyoti Singh says together, holistic development means engaging mind, emotion, and action. Beautiful. So 3H model, lovely. Lovely. Okay. So just like a great building, we all know that a great building stands on a strong foundation. So does success. And the foundation of success is attitude. Attitude. So, how to get, keep, and do a good job. I'm sure all of you read that success is, what does it say, 99% perspiration and 1% inspiration. But yes, success has 85% attitude and 15% knowledge, according to a Harvard study. Do you think attitude? Any of you would like to speak quickly about attitude? How does attitude impact our success? How does attitude impact our success? We may or may not be very good at something, but sometimes focus, attitude gives you the right focus. Attitude gives you optimism. Attitude, the right attitude helps you to stay positive. Absolutely. You may not understand something, but if your attitude is right and you're determined to make something succeed, you will go all out to make sure that you do well. So attitude is dedication towards what we want. Thank you, Monica. Lovely. Creativity, attitude shapes. What is this? Attitude shapes success. You'd read that for me, Meena.
Yeah,
Attitude shapes success.
just a second. I think it's moving. Attitude shapes success by influencing mindset, resilience, and the ability to adapt and thrive in challenging situations with determination and
Beautiful.
positivity.
Beautiful. I think it's your attitude that helps you to customize your, I would say, roadmap. If your roadmap is peppered with the right attitude, you will cultivate resilience. You will somehow muster the courage to succeed and to do things which you probably may not know. So, a positive attitude may not solve all our problems, but that's the only option we have. You're so right. It can shape behavior and decision making. Yes, I don't know if many of you know about, when we talk about the power, some of you may have read this beautiful book called The Power of Subconscious Mind. And when we talk about, the subconscious mind is so powerful that it can make a lot of things happen. But subconscious mind can only understand uh, the indicators and the probably the messages that you give it. So if your attitude is right and you're giving the right messages to your subconscious mind, which is a very obliging servant, so to say, will make things happen for you. So I think a lot of us will need to work with our attitude. You're right, attitude, the right attitude, mastering power from within and mastering resilience. Attitude is about motivation, resilience, beautifully, and the ability to how lovely. Thank you, Priyanka. Attitude is is motivation, resilience, and the ability to see opportunities where others see challenges. Lovely. And correct attitude defines determination. Attitude means the way we think, feel, and behave towards someone or something. It can be positive, negative, or neutral, but we are talking today about the right attitude. The right attitude, of course, is a positive attitude for most people. So when you feel low, your positive attitude will help you to find a solution. Thank you, Pooja. Attitude creates, the right attitude creates positive motivation, the ability to think positively and bring us probably, you know, develop a strong connect with other people. And I think sometimes when we have the right attitude, as I was telling you, about the power of the subconscious mind and the suggestions that you make to your subconscious mind, if you have a positive attitude and you make positive suggestions to your subconscious mind, a lot of success inevitably, a lot of successful outcomes will inevitably flow. So attitudes show the difference between two people from a same academic background. So very right. So all of us, I think, needs to work on cultivating the right attitude, because the right attitude is really what um, is a determiner for your success. Now, there are some questions for you. Can you go to the next one, Meena?
Yes.
So here is a list of things, and I'll only read a few responses. Read the list below and discuss what we would be feeling or doing if you were in that situation. We'll go one at a time. You
Yeah.
go into a parking lot and you find no empty parking space. What's your reaction? What's your reaction? And let's have a candid, frustrated Muskan. So frustrated, positive attitude. What would you, I mean, how could you change this? Positive attitude means looking at the bright side. And if Siddha says, oh no, I mean, I'm sure it will be worse than just oh no, but leave the place, waiting for someone to clear some positive attitude, waiting for someone to clear some space. I wish I'd started a little earlier. Angry. Try and understand somebody doesn't know that you're going to walk in, that you're going to drive in and want to park. Disappointed. Inevitable. If I'm late, I'll panic. Yes, bound to happen. Find something else or find some alternative. I think the easiest solutions would be, the right thing to do would be to check if there's some other available space. So uh, catch the parking guy, Nisha. That's a good one. Catch the parking guy. So find out who goes first, positive. Find alternatives, positive. Right. Create a space between the two cars and try and push in, search for valet parking. Great, great. Let's go to the next question. Let's go to the next. A slow line at the shopping store. You've got a kid tugging at your skirt or your trouser, and a slow line at the shopping store. If I were there, inevitable, angry, I'll check my patience. That's called self-awareness. I'll check my patience to see how long can I wait before I let go. Search for another count. Lovely, positive. Search for another counter. Wait for my turn. Volunteer so that help somebody, help probably the cashier by volunteering to move fast, requesting her this to allow me if you're in a hurry. Yeah. Start chatting with fellow people. Uh, that way I can work on my interpersonal skills. That's a good one. Can't do anything but wait, Shelley. Yeah, I'll wait for my turn. I'll search for another counter. If the work is very important, I'll wait patiently. Try and enjoy that time. Make some friends. Use your time to entertain you and the other members. Actually, that's possible. You know, I've seen people in shopping malls start to break into a dance to entertain everybody and then make a reel and put it on Instagram. Those possibilities are also open. We'll plan accordingly and then visit. Choose a different, continue with shopping, surf the net. Okay, let's go to the next one. Thank you for sharing. You're stuck in bad traffic after an exhausting day at work. So what would you do? I'll tell you what I normally do. I just put on my earphones. That's because somebody else is driving. Enjoy the music. Listen to an audio book. Yes. Listen to an audiobook. What else? Play music, sleep. Lovely. That's another great. That's somebody else is driving. Don't sleep when you're driving. Don't let that happen. Take a nap if somebody else is driving. Best time to listen to music. Appreciate your surroundings. Yeah, I don't know how feasible would that be if there's milling traffic and there are cars all over. Sing loudly. I like that. I love that part. Sing loudly with the glasses down. So everybody can listen to, even if I'm sure if you're a bathroom singer and your wife or your husband definitely tired of your bathroom singing, this is a good way. But remember, don't inflict torture on somebody if you're not a very great singer. Read the license plates. Oh, that is lovely. Read the license plates. Lovely. I'm having a good time with this lot. Play Atlas with someone, okay? Watching mobile, everybody does that, no? Call my mom, how lovely. That's a great time actually to call friends and family, you know? That's provided, as I said, you're not driving. Start chatting and eat something. If I drive, then I'll watch others and enjoy nature. You won't see Rupali. You'll only see more cars and more cars. Calling all those whom I didn't, yes. Utilize the time to think and plan. That can be a very, but if you're very, very tired after an exhausting day, I don't know if you're going to be. Order vegetables online. Jyoti Singh, I love this. I love this. Yes, housewives. I'm not housewives. Working women, I think that's a great time to order your veggies. Look for a different vehicle brands to match, to play matching game. Wow. Can't plan. Yeah, Rupal, you can't plan. It's tough. Love to observe the surroundings. Let's go to the next question. You're in a hurry when you open the door. The office boy suddenly comes with a tray of glasses in front of you. Bang. One is you will probably have a collision with the office boy whose glasses probably may fall and oops. Yes, Revati. Uh, and apologize. Yes. That's if you collided. Help him. Yes, Sangeeta. Yes. Feel sorry for him. No problem. I will apologize. I'll help him. Yeah, I'm sure. I think our instinctive reaction would be to say sorry. But then when you're exhausted, tired, sometimes we may lash out. Yes. The last question. Um, an unwanted phone call, particularly when you're taking a nap. I think at least I'm being very candid. I'm being very candid. I'd probably curse. But an unwanted phone call when you're taking a nap or you're doing something, disconnect. You will disconnect, angry, irritated, inevitable, inevitable, inevitable. Try and be nice if taken. Yes, yes. And will receive, I'll murmur and keep the phone on D&D mode. If not important, then I'll call later. Disconnect. Block, don't block, Yasmin. It could be somebody who's trying to reach you desperately. You never know. Thank you. Lovely, lovely, beautiful. Listening to the answers. Thank you. Let's go to the next one. So, life skills and hierarchy. Everyone knows about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And at the top of this pyramid, you have what is called self-actualization. I'm not reading the rest of the four slots in the pyramid, but the top of the pyramid has self-actualization. What is self-actualization? The ability to reach your full potential. The ability to reach your full potential. And when I say the ability to reach your full potential, let's read what it says: morality, creativity, spontaneity, problem solving, lack of prejudice, acceptance of facts. All the skills that probably we need to succeed in life are in this part of the pyramid, which is self actualization. If you really want self actualization, you will definitely need to have all these traits: creativity, because there could be situations where you will need to put your abilities to be creative and out of the box thinker. to test, spontaneity, which is appreciated by everybody, problem solving, which is, I think, the most important skill. In fact, two or three most important skills to my mind. And one of course, is communication. That is the ability to articulate and get your ideas across to people. And the second most important is problem solving. Problem solving. Because problems are inevitable, whether in life or in the world. Problems are inevitable, and our ability to cope with these problems is extremely important. And if we can't cope with these problems, we'll have a problem because we won't be able to move ahead. So, majority of us, I think, need to cultivate this ability to solve problems. And that can only happen the hard way, when you're actually pushed against the wall. So, problem solving skills and lack of prejudice. A lot of us tend to feel it's either my way or highway, but that's not the way life works, because we need to understand that other people with their differences can also be right. You know, as an educator, as an IB educator for many, many years, this is a line that we repeated again and again, telling children that other people with their differences can also be right. Not necessary that what you're saying is right, other people can also be right. So problems, Pooja says, problems always come with solutions. Yes. All right. When you say impossible, actually the interpretation is I am possible, right? So problems always come with solutions. I am possible. Look at impossible as I am possible. Self-actualization. If I'm doing better than what I was doing 5 years ago, I'm happy with that. Yes. Competing with yourself, not with somebody else. It's not about being perfect. It's about being continuously working and doing better in life and never stop improving. Keeping an open mind to change helps. I am possible, Rima. Yes. Uh, yes, true that. We need to work for solutions. Thank you. Yes, Jyoti Singh. Let's go to the next one, Meena. So, what are the different types of thinking? Different types of life skills. The first is thinking skills. Second are emotional skills. We spoke about head, heart, and hand. Thinking, emotional, social skills. But we'll be reading about many more kinds of skills. Essentially, thinking skills, emotional skills, and social skills. Patience, Archana says, patience and adaptability, using the time to unwind, plan your next task, or embrace the moment with calm acceptance. We have a solution, but we have to be patient. 3H, right? Thinking, emotional, social skills. Yes. So, can we go to the next one, please? So, what are social skills? Let's talk about social skills first. Social skills are, we know, communication, interpersonal skills, empathy, and self awareness. We all know what is communication, the ability to articulate our ideas, the ability to make sure that our ideas are transmitted to other people. Because communication is not just about, talking to myself. If I were taking this session, giving you a spiel about life skills, I think half the purpose is lost, because it cannot be a one-way thing. It cannot be a monologue. It has to be a dialogue. So communication is always a dialogue. Communication is always the ability to ensure that your ideas percolate to the audience. Um, Communication is also active listening. Communication is enabling an individual comprehend, right, Samina? So communication is active listening and then responding. Interpersonal communications resolve conflicts. Yes. Uh, Shubhangi, right. First, be a good listener in every field. Active listening, active listening. Because what generally happens is, we hear things and we don't listen. So, or we listen selectively. So, we only listen to what we want to hear. We don't really listen to what we are being told. So, communication, interact effectively, empathetically, respectfully, right? Interpersonal skills is the ability to strike a rapport with people. There may be people you don't like because they're very different from you. But it doesn't necessarily mean that they're wrong. So, yes, Amarjeet, if we are an active listener, then we can build strong relationships with our kids. Yes, listening is the most important part of teaching learning. And we talk about active learning. I think active listening is what leads to active learning. So, communications, yes, Divya, communications always two ways, and that's what we call effective. So interpersonal skills, empathy. Empathy we know is very important. Yes, Nishta, empathy is very important. Empathy is the ability to put yourself in somebody else's shoes. Because the difference between empathy and sympathy, does everyone know the difference? What is sympathy and what is empathy? What do you think is sympathy? And how is it different from how is empathy different from sympathy? Sympathy is simply feeling awful. Sympathy is, yeah, feeling awful for some pity. Yes. Yes, Ajal. Sympathy is feeling pity for somebody else. Empathy is the ability to understand. When you feel bad, it's sympathy. Empathy is putting yourself in somebody else's shoes. Only then you can really understand the situation of another person. Yes. So empathy is a much stronger emotion, much stronger, and self-awareness. Being empathetic is more important than being sympathetic. Yes, Paramji. Um, yes, Vandana. So, ability to understand and share the feelings. Yes, yes. Um, self-awareness is another. Self-awareness definitely is another very important life skill. Now, what is self-awareness? Self-awareness is my ability to pause and understand how I am feeling. My ability to pause and know myself. Yes, know about myself. Yes, Vanisha. Um, Self awareness connects you with you and with others. Unless you know yourself, you can't really connect with others. So, self awareness happens a lot of times um, through meditation. Can we go to thinking skills? So, thinking skills we know are problem solving, decision making, creativity, and critical thinking. We all know about problem solving. Yes, Manisha, introspection is self awareness. I think we're still on that. So, problem solving, I just spoke about the most important. Self introspection's very, very important. Yes, for self awareness. So, problem solving, the ability to understand a problem, analyze it, to seek solutions, uh, is just so important. Decision making is another important skill that all of us need to cultivate. Creativity to think out of the box. A lot of problems get solved through creativity because you look for creative solutions to difficult problems. And critical thinking, the ability to analyze something, derive conclusions, and look for solutions or evolve probably another solution. Problem solving is essential for navigating challenges. Very right, Sulagna. I think that's one skill we have to teach kids. Uh, a lot of us as parents and as teachers, particularly a lot of us as parents, you have helicopter parents and you have helicopter teachers also. So helicopter parenting is, when you want to provide everything for your kid, Bichara bacha. So, mera bacha, bichara bacha. So, the bichara really becomes bichara finally because he or she has not learned how to solve problems because they're latching onto you for support. Do remember, teachers and parents, um, very important to let go. I think when we hold on to our children, not allowing them to get their hands dirty, so to say, because we want children who are picture perfect. And we think the only way to get them to be picture perfect is by providing them with everything that they need. So they have not learned the art of fending for themselves. And ultimately, in life, when they go out into the real world comes as a rude shock to them. Analytical thinking, lovely Priyanka, breaking down a problem, beautiful. Bichara Bachpan, No, bicharapan makes a child dependent. So right. That's what I said. Bichara bacha. So bicharapan makes a child dependent on others. So right. Not just child. I think anybody who's called bichara, moment you're called bichara, then you're kind of looking for support, isn't it? Even as helicopter parenting, yes, can limit a child's independence, autonomy, and ability to develop problems. Beautiful. Yes. And helicopter teachers also, please. There are helicopter teachers who will make children feel very guilty. If you haven't done something right, that's because you didn't listen to me. I gave you the solutions. You never took those solutions. That's why you failed. So have faith in your children. Show faith. If you show faith in your children, the world will show faith. So very right. So very right. When you show faith in your children, the world will show faith in your children. Absolutely. Whatever we give attention to grows. Uh, other day, I was very quickly, I know I'm digressing a little, and we still have a lot of stuff to speak about, but very quickly, I was listening to Sister Shivani. I'm sure everybody knows Sister Shivani. And she was talking about the fact that, every morning you should start with some affirmations where you give strength to your family, to those who are very close to your hearts, by talking positively and thinking positively about them. Even if you have a family where relationships are crashing, say that I have a very strong, well knit family. And she calls it Siddhi se, no, Sankalp se Siddhi. She calls it Sankalp se Siddhi. So, Sankalp is determination, Siddhi is actualization. If you are determined, you will make these positive statements. Sankalp, this is my sankalp. This is my affirmation. Sankalp says siddhi. Yes, Reena, we are doing affirmations. Beautiful, beautiful. Affirmations. Just yesterday, I was doing a video for Burlington English, which spoke about, using affirmations before you start an English lesson. And when you make those affirmations, what a lovely thought. If you tell yourself when you're going into a class, into a language class, saying that I'm a great communicator, the class will actually go well. When we believe in ourselves, when we believe in our children, the world, if we don't believe in ourselves, the world's not going to believe in us. And if we don't believe in our kids, the world's not believing in our kids. Yes. Yoga, Surya Namaskar, and yes, it really works. Meenakshi says, fake it till you make it. That's a good one. Yes. Yes. Manifestations work. Yes, fake it till you make it. Your heart, as I said, the power of the subconscious mind, affirmations will seep into your subconscious mind and make things happen. Let's move quickly before we this gets into becomes a class on manifestations and affirmations. Let's go to emotional skills. So emotional skills are coping with stress. We're just coping with stress and coping with emotion. Now, when I say coping with stress, everybody understands that. But emotions, I think coping with emotions, whether positive or negative, when we are overjoyed, we are so bursting with positive emotion that you want to share it with the whole world. But I was listening to something on Instagram by one of those actors from Hollywood who says, buying a car, shut your mouth. Buying a house, shut your mouth. So be subtle, be subtle. And if angry, let's try and see how much we can control. So ability to understand, manage, and express emotions effectively. Beautiful. Thank you, Archana. Imani, you only understand others when you understand your emotions first. Yeah, they're a brilliant set of people, I say. They don't need workshops. They cannot take workshops. Can you go to the next one? So 10 core life skills. First, problem solving. Absolutely. Dot on first, problem solving. Second, critical thinking. Third, effective communication. Half the battle is won when you're an effective communicator. I can vouch for it. I mean, sometimes, honestly, when I go into a lot of sessions, I probably with my kind of work, I don't really get too much time to prepare. So when you go into a session and you're absolutely sure after having gone through your presentations once, twice, thrice, you're absolutely sure that you're a good communicator, I think 80% of the battle's won, because you're communicating so effectively that you're enjoying it, the others are enjoying it. We're doing that right now, hopefully. So effective communication, decision making, the ability to make decisions, weigh the pros and cons and make judicious decisions. Of course, how judicious they are will only be discovered much later in life. Creative thinking, right kind of communication increases faith, helps you to, and helps children. You know, when you're the right kind of communication also probably has to do with verbal and non-verbal communication. Just a pat or a touch from a teacher or a hug for the little ones makes them feel they're secure. Taking ownership of decisions. Most of us are busy with the blame game, blaming my parents, my brothers, my sister, the school, the college, the teachers, everybody else for my having failed. But not easy. That's a brave act to take responsibility for your own failure. Creative thinking, strong interpersonal skills, self awareness, empathy can be, keep going, coping with stress and coping with emotions. 10 most important life skills, 10 core life skills. Darshana also says decision making, teamwork, time management, yes, are also sub skills that are part of these larger skills. Absolutely. Absolutely. Decision making, of course, is
Ma'am,
the,
there is a question. There is a question you had asked me to let
yeah,
you know.
yeah,
So
sure.
there is a question from Rupali Malhotra. She wants to know what is the difference between critical thinking and analytical thinking, and how we can ask students to think critically and analytically.
Right. So, analytical thinking, here is the thing. That's how I interpret it. Analytical thinking is basically uh, sort of slightly limiting in the sense that analytical thinking focuses more on analysis of a problem. Analytical thinking focuses more on analysis of a problem, whereas critical thinking will look at not merely the analysis, critical thinking will also look at different dimensions of a situation, different, not merely one dimension, because analytical thinking will probably look at one dimension, not so much at the other dimensions. In critical thinking, you look at different dimensions of a problem, and not just look at different dimensions of a problem, you will also look at solutions. In critical thinking, you will look at different solutions, analyze those different solutions, look at the workability, the viability of implementing those solutions, and weigh the pros and cons and go for the best solution. I'm not necessarily saying that this is the only answer. Okay. So here's my critical thinking. Huh? This is not the only explanation. That's how I interpret it. Anchal beautifully says analytical thinking breaks down complex problem into smaller parts. Critical thinking evaluates and judges the validity and relevance of that information. Thank you, Anchal. I think you solved my problem, made it even clearer. So analytical thinking essentially breaks down a complex problem into different smaller, simpler components. And critical thinking, beautiful. Thank you. Uh, Critical thinking, Archana Rathore says, critical thinking involves evaluating information to form judgments and solve, while analytical thinking breaks down the complex information into parts to understand relationships and patterns. How wonderful. I hope your question is answered somewhat. Okay. Another question, is that the only one? I'll go to this one. Jyoti Singh
The
says,
other one was just how to make the children think analytically and critically.
Jyoti Singh says, a young child is very possessive about their mother, becomes upset when separated during school time. How can we help this child feel safe, secure, and more comfortable being away from the mother? See, Jyoti, uh, I would say that first is acclimatization. Very young children, you know, this separation anxiety can be a big thing. Separation anxiety can have a, it can have a lasting impact on the children. making them feel insecure. It becomes very deeply ingrained in very young children's brains. What happens to children at a very young age, between the age of 3, till the age of 5, can have a lasting impact. So we have to be very careful about separation anxiety. So a lot of schools now are allowing parents, particularly mothers, to remain in the school for shorter. They keep children for short duration. And during that time, they allow the mother to be there, maybe at the school reception or a designated spot. So if a child is extremely upset, the mother is kind of available. So this separate, when the ability to break away from the parent, that happens over a period of time. It doesn't happen in one day. You can't yank a kid away from a parent. That will only be very, very adverse. If a mom is a teacher there, then I'd recommend Jyoti, don't go to the kids' class. Huh? Stay away from the child, because the more you visit the child's class and the more the child looks at you, the child will not settle, because very slowly we have to get the children to understand that in a school environment, parents cannot be around. But as I said, don't yank yourself away. Let the teachers are able to deal with this, keep the child for a shorter duration and kind of be around. Uh, it is very difficult to break a virtual umbilical cord. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'd be really happy to talk about this maybe at another point of time. Um, shall we go to the next one?
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry, I was just facing some issues.
No worries, no worries. No worries.
Is the screen visible now, ma'am?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
here it is. So we are talking about self-awareness. Self-awareness, I think it's self-explanatory. Self-awareness is understanding yourself. That is your feelings first, your feelings, acknowledging your feelings. Sometimes, it's okay not to be okay. We want to feel okay all the time. But it's okay not to be okay. Understanding that it's all right. Feelings, understanding your negative feelings. Attitudes. What is my attitude? It's, as I said, it's okay not to be okay is also an attitude, right? That I'm all right, even if I'm not okay, it's all right. Motives, understanding what is the motive behind what I'm doing, my desires, my strengths and weaknesses, and working on the strengths. Uh, Assessing your strengths and weaknesses, working on your strengths, and trying to utilizing, leveraging your strengths, working on your weaknesses. Introspection, yes, Nasya, it is introspection. Um, so self-awareness is when you peep inside your mind and heart, when you try to understand yourself. And self-awareness is extremely, extremely important. Thank you, Anshul, for saying this, but I hope you'll stay till the end of the session. That doesn't mean you're leaving it. Self-analysis. Um, so we'll go to the next one, please.
Yeah.
The next is empathy. Empathy, we already know, is being able to see something from the eyes of another. Empathy is really not sympathy. And empathy, sometimes you don't even have to say anything to anyone when you want to express empathy. Just a hug, just holding somebody's hand is enough to let them know you're with them without saying any, just listening, just being there for them. That means so much. Let me tell you, just being there for somebody is so much more important than articulating. There are moments of grief when families are in deep grief. You don't have to say anything, just being there, holding somebody's hand. I remember so distinctly, I can relate to this so distinctly, because when I lost my mother, uh, there are always relatives and friends, who will want to come and say something to you. But I remember so distinctly this cousin who just came and she held both my hands and just stood there with me. And I knew that she understood exactly how I was feeling. She didn't have to say a word. So empathy, seeing with the eyes of another, non-judgmental listening, just being. just being around. Your presence is more than anything, matters more than listening with the ears of another. Because sometimes we are so busy judging others that we can't understand how they're feeling. And we're so busy giving advice. We're so busy sermonizing and giving solutions. Empathy is not giving solutions. Empathy is, as I said, just being there and actively listening and genuinely trying to understand and convey, probably non-verbally, that I care. I care. Self-awareness, who I am and what are my potential areas of development. We'll go to the next one. It's slightly repetitive, but we'll go to the next one.
Yeah.
The types of thinking we already know. Types of thinking. There are basically two types of thinking for problem solving and decision making. Analyzing things. When there's a problem, analyze, evaluate, reason, find solutions, and find new ideas. A critical thing, that's critical thinking, and creative thinking is finding new ideas to solve a problem. So there are two ways you can do it. One is analyzing, evaluating, assessing, and then reasoning and acting. And the other is finding alternatives, creative alternatives. We'll go to the next one. Najia says PPT is not visible. Not visible.
Okay.
Okay. You're actually
I
suggesting
think
giving join. Okay, visible.
it's
No,
visible.
no, I
Most of
think
them
few
are
people are
visible.
saying it's visible. One or two are saying
Yes.
it's not visible. Okay, fine, fine, great. Decision making. Now, what is decision making? So decision making is obviously the ability to choose solutions, the ability to choose the right solutions. In decision making, you will have alternatives. And so when you have to solve a problem, you have to make a decision. So looking at the viable solutions and then looking at the best possible solution that works best for you. Do remember in decision making, make a decision looking at a problem and choosing a solution that works for you. Very often we are going, with solutions that others recommend, which may not work very well in our context. So in decisions can be made through an intuitive or a reasoned process. Intuitive is, I know intuitively that this is going to work for me. But you use your rationale. Use your rationale. And I normally, when I have to make a decision or I have to get my children to make a decision or my students to make a decision now, or even teachers that I train, I always, this is what my father would tell me, take a piece of paper, fold it into two, look at the pros and cons. Just commit it to paper. That's the easiest way to do it. Hold the paper. On one side, look at the pros. On the other side, put the cons. Right, right, right. When you commit something to paper and you have it before you in writing, you're able to make a much clearer and faster decision. The process of evaluating options, considering consequences, and choosing the most effective decision. Right. We'll go to the next one, please. Okay, the problem solving sequence. First, of course, is to define a problem. Needless to say that. What is the problem? Sometimes, and again, I would say, I'm a great believer in this. Every night and every morning, I sit down with my diary. I know it sounds very outdated. Of course, I also do it virtually. Sometimes I do it on my laptop, but I like to use a physical diary where I jot down my tasks for the day and my problems that I have to deal with in the day and how I'm going to deal and what is it in an order of priority. So first define the problem. Second, brainstorm solutions. Third, pick a solution that works for you. Beautiful, Manali. Thank you. That's what I was talking about journaling. Journaling. I should have used this word. Yeah, but well, a diary is a journal. Actually, it is. So journaling helps in problem solving. Absolutely. That's a proven fact. The moment that diary should be so, the journal should be whatever document you're using, whatever whatever you're using, whether it's an e-journal or your physical diary or a notebook, That's just so important because to me it becomes my go-to. Every time, when we journal, there are umpteen number. Each day will give you 10 problems. And the next day you've got another 10 that have piled up. So the ones which are there the previous day haven't been solved. Only 2 have been solved. The rest 8 are waiting to be solved. And then they start accumulating. So journaling works really well. Use a journal to document, define a problem, brainstorm solutions, pick a solution, test the solution if you can, review the results, and then look at an alternative solution if this one's not working. Yeah, to the to-do list. Some of the questions that you can ask yourself when there's a problem. What is the problem? Who's involved with this problem? What solutions? How can I solve it? When did it happen? Who was involved? Shubhangi says teachers should create an environment where children say, she's our teacher. This is a two-way communication. So our half work is done and children will listen to each and everything. It's my personal experience. Yeah, actually, if you listen to their nonsense, they'll listen to your sense. I agree with you, Shubhangi. So keep listening. Even if you think it's nonsense, they will listen to your sense. Yes. Or what do you imagine as sense? Sometimes they will interpret it as nonsense, but nevertheless, that's how it works. We listen to what we think is nonsense and they listen to our sense. Let's go to the next one, please. So problem solving, problem thinking, solution. This is just a visual representation. Effective communication, verbal communication, non-verbal communication. So make sure that communication happens. Communication is a two-way process. There is non-verbal communication or your body language. Your body language speaks louder than words. Really. I mean, you don't even have to, your tone and your body language says it all. So, if I say, I think you're crazy, angry, I think you're crazy, funny. Okay. So emphasis, oral communication, non-verbal communication, that is more important than anything else. Oral communication, written communication, non-verbal, that is body language, written communication. Emojis, why do you think very powerful, very, very powerful? And oral communication, of course, uh, that's another kind of, I mean, that is the kind of communication we're having right now. The non-verbal communication, we'll go to the next one. Eye contact. When you make a direct eye contact with somebody, that shows you're confident of yourself. Eye contact, your body movements, your posture, when we slouch and sit, when we are unhappy, we slouch. So body movement, posture, your facial expressions, I think they're far more powerful than anything else. Your tone, we just spoke about tone. Your tone, intonation, the pitch of your voice. If you're very loud, your gestures, gestures, your body language is your gestures that you make. The next one, please. Next is interpersonal relationships. That is relationships that exist amongst individuals. So interpersonal, they're built through connections. They through individuals, through social association, affiliation between two or more individuals. We'll go to the last few slides, which is how to manage stress. How to manage stress. Some of the ways we can manage stress, we all know is easier said than done, meditation. Yeah, but very tough. I haven't been able to do it in spite of trying very hard. Mindfulness, that is, noticing everything is somewhat similar to meditation, but mindfulness is viewing everything with slowly. When you're eating your food, you're eating it mindfully. When you're doing something, you're doing it mindfully. You're actually noticing the entire process. Being more social works, really works. When you're feeling awful and down, just pick up your phone and call your favorite cousin or a friend. Trying a new hobby, art works wonders. Saying no, very important. I've learned the hard way. I still haven't learned it very well though. Saying no is not just saying no, I'm not good with this. Important. Yeah, listening to, let's see what are some of the other things. Every listening to soft music, I'm with you, Sneha.
Sorry.
Um, Listening to soft music, eating a healthy diet, tough one, but healthy for one is healthy for not so healthy for another. Cherishing every moment. It's so important because kal ho na ho. Good sleep. I love this. I love this. Just before this, I was trying to catch a 1 hour nap. It was a non-working day. Dancing, I just love this. I'm with you on this one. Though my knees, of course, don't agree with me, but still, let's
And
go to nature. Yes.
this
Sorry.
is an interesting one. Sulagna ma'am has said, do good and don't think of getting anything in return.
We play with kids. Yes. Being present in the present. You know why present is called a present? Because present is a gift. Uh, Yesterday, what is it? Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. Today is all you have. So present is a gift that God has presented you with. Dancing, yes. Self-love, yes, Prachi. Yes, ladies, go for your to your favorite beautician on a Sunday. Tell your husbands I need to dedicate these 2 hours just to myself. So can I have your credit card? Talk to plants. I love this. Yes. Spend time with yourself, live in present, dancing, singing, long drives, as long as somebody else is driving and you can sit back and enjoy the music. Shop till I drop. This sounds like me. Thank you, Smita. Talk to yourself. Tough. A good chit chat with your loved ones. Yeah. Spend time. Movies. Yes. Driving with my dogs. Sweets. Yes. Yes. Play with your pet. Don't let your emotional well-being be dependent on somebody else. Which Charlie Chaplin video, yeah. Or even Instagram is good these days, actually, not so bad. I'm not propagating that you should do it. I do it. Having a nice gola. Look at that. Love this. Tom and Jerry, favorite movie. Sharing with friends. Absolutely. Just sharing a meal with somebody is de-stressing and writing a journal. We'll go to the next one, please.
The
Ringling
latest,
College of Art and Design. We'll stop with that, Meena. That was such a
yeah.
beautiful video. So we are not talking so much about, we'll just say this. How are you, just with end with this. How are you feeling today? So how are you feeling today after this session? I've enjoyed it thoroughly, thoroughly, thoroughly. You've been a fantastic audience. So delightful to see wonderful teachers who want to participate so beautifully and make this, this, you made this webinar so interactive. Thank you so much. Thank you. Great to see you feel so good. Thank you, and thank you. Over to you, Meena. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for such a wonderful session. It was extremely interactive, and I would like to thank the participants as well. Thank you. Have a great evening.